China's interest in ours coincides in the short term, but not the long term. China is very worried about the North Korean regime, but it does not want a collapse of that regime and a unified Korea under the current South Korean regime, which they would regard as a mortal threat to their interests, American military forces right alongside their border. So people who say China, China, China have to recognize that China's interests do not coincide fully with ours.
But these economic sanctions aren't working, in large part because they're not effective at this point.
Well,
what do we do?
I think it's fair to say they haven't worked so far.
In the meantime,
that's true of sanctions forever. Until they work, they haven't
in the
worked.
meantime, I mean, the reason they're not working is because the Chinese are allowing more and more trade to come through China to deal with it, to take off the economic pressure. In the meantime, the North Korean nuclear program has advanced pretty substantially.
It is, there's no doubt about it.
If I were in South Korea or Japan right now, I'd be fairly panicked at the idea of what they're doing.
Well, they are very concerned, and one concern is, of course, that will trigger a nuclear arms race in the region.
Exactly.
It's just a matter of time till an upcoming Japanese politician says, well, China has them, North Korea has them, it's about time we have them. I think that's not in our interest, and it's not in the interest of stability in the region, but that wouldn't be a surprise if that happened.
Another thing that Donald Trump commented on was Luis Videgaray, the former Mexican finance minister, stepping down after his trip there. Videgaray had been someone who was educated in the United States and was largely seen by the business community, a lot of the viewers for this station, as being someone who was paving the way to open investment from America to Mexico and vice versa. What do you think about where we stand in terms of NAFTA, where we stand in our relations with our largest trading partner?
Well, I don't think Mexico is our largest trading partner. I think Canada is, but it's a very large one, and it's an important country. It's a neighbor and always will be. I think we should encourage investment in and development in Mexico as the best way in the long term to relieve the pressure of migrants coming. The fact, however, is that net migration from Mexico is zero. The number going back and the number coming in are about the same. The real problem is that now Mexico is a transit point for migrants from Central America who are going through, several countries that are going through difficult times and coming in through Mexico. So I think Mexico is, always will be, a peaceful, hopefully, neighbor, one with which we have to encourage good relations that are beneficial to both.
When you look around the globe, what is your biggest concern at this point?
Well, I think there are several. First, I think the threat of Islamic extreme terrorism is a real one, and it's going to increase. That point hasn't really much been made. 1 out of 5 people on Earth today is Muslim. That's about 1.5 billion. By 2060, when the population nears 10 billion, it'll be 1 in 3. About 3.5 billion. To put that into perspective, that was the total population of the world as recently as 1970. And the conflicts within Islam are many. They're intersecting, they're overlapping, they're sometimes contradicting, and they're going to continue for some time. I think that remains a large threat, and feeding into that, the possibility of the collapse of the nuclear non-proliferation regime, which we have led the way, I think, quite successfully. There are dozens of countries who could produce nuclear weapons, who voluntarily refrain from doing so in reliance on American leadership and on the non-proliferation regime. Those two, I think, pose the greatest threats to stability worldwide.
Hey, CNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Here you're going to find videos packed with all of the information that you need to be smarter about your finances. You can subscribe by clicking right here and click on all the videos around me or the eye right here to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.